I've said this before, I will say this again. She's a celebrity in her own right, a diva as far as I'm concerned, a beautiful, intermeshing of soul and heart and head and hand. Completely inspired me for the last couple of years. I've known her, give or take, about 20, 25 years. We went on a Spain trip once, or was it South Africa? I can't remember, Ashma. When we were at Xerox. With joy and pleasure, I invite her now to talk to us about embodiment of holistic well-being, which is also a theme for today. And her title of her talk is God's Own Pharmacy. She's the managing director of, I want to get the pronunciation right, Anamaya, which is the word, if you all remember, top of the grid of Dr. Rajan's deck. So Ashma, over to you, and bewitch us like you always do.
Thank you so much, Hardina, for inviting me on this wonderful platform, an enriching experience of listening to such esteemed speakers. I think it's been a learning day for me. So being from beginning till now is something which I think every moment of your life you learn, and I've learned so much. Being a part of the corporate world, and I see so many familiar faces, including Hariharan, Harlina, you for that matter, was with the corporate industry for good 18 years before I moved towards Ayurveda. I don't even say health and wellness. I very passionately and proudly call myself an Ayurveda consultant. It's been a long journey, 18 years of the corporate world, understanding the stress, the targets, the goals you have to achieve, and non-stop. It was a non-stop thing. And all I would see was that everybody is running after completing their, targets. Life always has certain paths which are defined, well-defined. And perhaps that was what was well-defined for me. So I'll just give you a little backdrop. I was born with a heart condition, not one heart condition. I had 4 defects in my heart when I was born, which is called tetralogy of Fallot. So 4 defects in the heart. I lived 17 years of my childhood as a crippled child. I could not walk. If I had to go to school, it was all about, as per my convenience. So what I saw was the other side of the table as to what it is to feel like a patient, with all the limitations. It taught me right from my childhood. It taught me that what is it? What is the pain? What the patient goes through, the physical pain, the emotional pain, the financial pain of the family. So I learned it from my childhood. Way back in early 2000, being with Xerox, being with Airtel, and with BlackBerry and Apple, you name it, all the corporate, Hindustan Unilever approached and asked that they were looking to start with Ayurveda for the corporate world, and nobody better than somebody who had enrolled into all the corporates. So जैसे बोलते हैं हिंदी में वो घंटी बजी थी, this was like a bell ringing. This is what I wanted to do always, all my life, reaching out to people and giving back to the society, and I did not know nothing about Ayurveda. I'm being very candid. I knew nothing about Ayurveda, but it was a calling. It was an inner calling. I had to do it. So I said, yes, I want to do it. So we started with the center, but like when we started, it was all about, I wanted it to be an ultimate, where when somebody walks in, it would be an experience for them to understand what your body is all about, how you connect, which we all, unfortunately, in the corporate world had forgotten and have forgotten still. I would very, very candidly say that we've forgotten our own existence. We are all running for things which actually do not make us. It is just a success which we get out of it. But connecting with your own self, your body, we had forgotten. So I got into it, and I think there was no looking back. Perhaps initially I would go to my center once in a fortnight, and then it started going down, and I just gave up my entire corporate world. That was not me. That was not my identity. This was my identity I was creating for myself. And then the learning started. Now, I've heard everybody talking about the corporate HR, what all they are doing, connecting, bringing in a lot of, programs, the heart program. All these are beautiful. Yes, that is on the emotional front. But has anybody here thought, what is that makes a human body? That's the first thing, is your food. That is a life force energy. And with food is what you can do anything if you're eating the right food. Now, ma'am had talked about Aham Brahmasmi, right? I am the universe. We've forgotten that the universe exists within ourselves, right? We have 5 elements in the universe, which is the space, air, fire, water, earth. And we are also made of the same, we are the hologram of the universe, right? The same universe exists within us, the same 5 elements. Ayurveda is such a beautiful science, which is like, every time I see a patient or somebody becoming healthy, it motivates me and inspires me more, that we have forgotten a science which is actually in totality a complete science in itself. What is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is a balance between mind, body, soul, and social well-being. It is just not one aspect, it is all. And that's how we make our own Brahmand or our own universe. But what is that which is very, very focal and very, very important? The key to it is that if you see what I say is Jaisa an Vaisa Man. Hum kitne bhi programs we incorporate in our organizations, at home, disciplines and everything. Everything starts from the basic, which is your food, which is the prana. Food having prana, with the kind of life we have gone into, with the targets and the achieving things in our life, we've forgotten, as I've been saying, the basics of it is the food. We are now to accommodate everything in our life. What are we doing? We've gone over to the fast foods, the canned foods, the freezing. What is it that doing? Does any of these foods have any prana or the life force energy? How do you expect to be healthy? And if the employee is not healthy, do you think he can give you the results, or what we are looking at is the achievements? We cannot. So it starts from the basics of your food. Now, unfortunately, and this is across the globe, wherever I give talks and I'm doing workshops, what I find is that people have forgotten the basic concept of nature. There are seasons, there are weathers. Based on that, our life also goes, which is connecting with the biological clock of the nature. We've forgotten that. We don't even know about it. Today, if I ask anybody, I see people, why the diseases are coming in, why the lifestyle disorder. Yes, stress is one part, definitely. What else is there? The wrong kind of food we are eating. Winters is a time to have food which is all about winter vegetables and fruits, which are heating in nature. What is happening now? Because of the globalization, because of the cold storage, we get every fruit and vegetable around the year. And I see people eating the wrong kind of food, which is the winter vegetables in summers in winters. It is bound to bring earthquake in your body. How do you expect your employees to perform if their basic health is not right? With pandemic coming in and people staying back at home, people started connecting with their own selves, because they had the time. And that's the time they started wondering as to, oh my gosh, I have got blood pressure. Oh my God, I've got diabetes. I need to start working on it. Where does it start from? Again, your lifestyle, your food, and your thoughts. So for me, 3 things to make a healthy body is the first being ahar, which is your diet. Second is vyavhar, which is your lifestyle. And last but the least, the vichar, which are your thoughts. So if you take care of these 3 aspects are one which will, what it has brought in as a disease can take it away also. These are the basic foundations I feel we not only need to be giving to the employees, but this is what is to be brought into the families also, at home also. And this is the wealth which we have to give to the next generation. If we don't do that, we are not looking at a bright future. Pandemic brought in, let's talk about immunity. Let's build our immunity. Immunity cannot be built in a day. Rome was not built in a day. Immunity is a constant effort of the kind of food you eat, the kind of lifestyle you lead, the kind of thoughts, which is perhaps meditations, perhaps connecting with nature, walks, all these things. If you do not incorporate what COVID, if today it is COVID, tomorrow it could be something else, another pandemic. Are we prepared for that? Are we? Yes, we do need vaccinations. Yes, we do need a good health infrastructure, but it starts from within, from home, the basics. So let's get down to the roots of a human existence, which is the food. So if you go back to the Indian history, which is so rich, our Vedas are so rich. If you go back, we had a concept of something which was called a sattvic ahar, a rajasic ahar, and a tamasic ahar. Today, the human beings are basically they're living on tamasic, and I would want to explain what is tamasic, sattvic, and rajasic. Sattvic ahar is a word which comes from the word sattva, which means purity. This is the food which brings the purity in your body, in your mind, in your soul. And this was basically, if you go back into our history, was what was consumed by the Brahmins and the sages. And that's the reason the glow and the calmness on them. And then you go on to something which was rajasic, which comes from a word rajas, which means passion. And this was basically fed to the royalty, the aristocrats, the queens, the kings, because the kind of work they had. And then last but the least was a tamasic food, which comes from a word tamas. And do you know what is the meaning of tamas? Which means darkness. And this is what we are feeding on. What is tamas? What is tamasic food? Alcohol, tobacco, garlic, onion. Yes, when required, fine. But when we are majorly feeding on that, and the kids today, when I see them, they are also onto the tamasic food. Why was tamasic food in olden days given to the army? Because we needed aggression in them. They had to go and fight with the army. They needed that aggression. We don't need that aggression. What we need in this world is compassion, love, connecting with the nature. The nature is connected, whether it is living or non-living, it's all connected. So we need to connect at that level. So let's start for every corporate to incorporate in their organization the basics of the compatible diets, the incompatible diets. This is the basic foundation of a human existence. We're forgetting everything. We're putting our stress on all the other aspects, but not this. I see people coming. Do you know that? I mean, this surprises me that, to give you an example, this is peak summertime in north of India, and I see people talking about, spinach. Well, that's a winter vegetable, and it's warming in nature, and if you're having it in summers, it's gonna give you a lot of diseases. Body talks, it gives you symptoms, dryness, aggression, depression. These are the talks of every home today. You will find kids suffering from them. You will find even the parents suffering from that. COVID did bring in that because we were all locked up into our houses. But I think COVID for me was an opportunity for us to connect with ourselves and start working on the things which are required, starting from your food, from your lifestyle, and from your last but the least, let's start working on it and create a new world which is healthy, which is connected, which has got compassion, which has got love. And that's what every employer has to look into. Every parent has to look into. And this is what will be our gift to the next generation. I really did not want to talk much about the kinds of diets, but all I wanted to drive across to everybody was that sync with nature. you sync with nature, you will be fine and you will be healthy in every bit of your body's, every bit of your cellular level in your body. So on that note, thank you so very much for a great opportunity for me to talk about, let's go back to our roots. Let's start from there yet again. Let's healthy in all the three aspects, which is mind, body, soul, and social well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashma. I have heard you so many times, and I continue to, stay engrossed when you speak. Your energy, your passion, and it all comes from conviction. It's obvious. That's the only way it really works. Continues to enthrall. For all our participants, she's very easy to reach, extremely active on Facebook. You can follow her page. You Google her name, and she will pop up. There's anything you ever need, she's like a ping away. Like many of us here, just does it for a love of it. Much wisdom you will just get for the asking. And I believe, I want to kind of quote what Rachel said a while ago. Sometimes in life, all you have to do is ask, and it shall happen. Also what Bible says, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be opened. For the love of the God is available to us all. So thank you so much. Ashma, any quick question for her before we go to our last speaker Shri Shivamji?
Arlina, I want to just say one word. So I was with Ashma in 1997 in Greece. From that 24 years, the transformation, I think that's a role model transformation. Amazing.
I will just want to sum it up with one quote, which has, I totally believe in, and that goes for Rachel, darling. Mere bache, I would definitely want to quote, and this is what I believed in all my life, being a crippled child to where I heal people today. There was only one thing which kept me going. And I always say that at every forum, the dream of yesterday is the hope of today and reality of tomorrow.